Well, after all those excuses, first Moses said, "Who am I to go?" And then Moses said, when God said, "I'll be with you," Moses said, "Well, what will I say them if they say, 'Who is the God has said, what is your name?'" Everybody has their hands on their desk. Roll your chairs up so you will not be tempted. Then God said, "I am sent you, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob." And then Moses said, "Remember, well, what if they don't believe me? Remember those signs for what the rod turned into a snake and his hand turned into leprosy? And also there was the blood that he could show the blood as well." And then he said, "Oh, I'm not that good at speaking." And God said, "I'll be with you." And they said, "Please send someone else." And then God was angry. He said, "Aaron's going to do it." So Moses went back to his father in law, Jethro, and he said to Jethro, "I would like to go back to Egypt and see my family and see my people living there." And Jethro said, "Go in peace." Now, listen very carefully, boys and girls. You'll remember that God's sign, the sign that God's people were belonged to him, was circumcision. That all the boys had to have that piece of the foreskin cut off. And Moses had done that with their oldest, Gershon, but he had not done it to Eleazar. He did not show that he was part of God's people. So when they were on their way, God came to him. And then they had to cut it off right then because God was angry. But then God sent Aaron to meet him. And Moses said, "Guess what God said to me?" He said, "You and me, I'm going to tell you what God said, and you have to talk to Pharaoh." And he showed Aaron all the signs that he could do. And then he also said that Aaron and Moses, they went to the Israelite people, all the elders, and they said, "The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, he has come to us, and he's going to be with us. He's going to rescue us. He has seen what the Egyptians are going to do." They told him all the words that God had spoken. He's going to rescue us. He's going to take us out of this land of Egypt, and he's going to bring us to the promised land. Here's Egypt down here, and here's the promised land up here. This promised land, and here's the Red Sea. And when all the elders, they showed them all the signs too. And when all those elders saw all those signs, they bowed their heads. They were so glad, and they worshiped God. Now, God had told them, remember, Pharaoh will not listen. He will not listen. Well, then Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh, and they said, "The Lord, the God of the Hebrews, has wants us to go into the wilderness for 3 journeys, for 3 days' journey, and have a sacrifice." "The Lord?" said Pharaoh. "Who is the Lord? I do not know the Lord." "Well," said Moses and Aaron, "the God of the Hebrews," that's who they were, "he has said, we need to go into the wilderness for 3 days, and if we don't, he may punishes us." "Moses and Aaron," said Pharaoh, "you are keeping the people from your work. Get back to your work. I see that you have too much time in your hands." And then Pharaoh called those taskmasters, the people that made the Israelites do all the work. He called them and he said, "I don't want you to give any straw to those Israelites anymore." So, boys and girls, in the morning when they said, "You have to this many bricks ready," they had straw to make the bricks nice and tight and give them sort of some stability. He said, "Don't, they can get their own straw, and make sure they have just as many bricks as they always had." Well, boys and girls, then he told the people there the next day, the taskmasters, they said, "Come on, we're not giving you any more straw. We're not giving you any more straw. Get your own straw. Make sure that you have just as many bricks as you did before." The Israelites had to go all over the land to find straw, and everything was taking way, way longer. And then they were beaten. And the foremen were beaten because they didn't have enough straw. Because there was Israelites, people that were in charge kind of too. First the Egyptians and then the Israelites people. And they said, how can we possibly get as many done? You're not giving us straw. That's taking so much time. We can't do that. Could you put that away, please? Don't touch it. Keep your hands folded. He said, we can't do that many. And Pharaoh said, lazy. That's what they are, lazy. So the Israelites, they went to Pharaoh and they said, it's not our fault that we didn't get as many bricks done. How could we? You're not giving us any straw. It's not our fault. Lazy. That's what you are. That's why you want to have a worship service. That's why you want to go into the wilderness. You have too much time on your hands. That's what you are. You're just lazy. There went the Israelites. They went out of the palace. And they saw Moses and Aaron. They said, this is your fault. The Lord judged between you and me. Now things are worse. You've put a sword into Pharaoh's hand. Moses prayed to God. He said, oh God, you said you were going to rescue the people. And now things are even worse. And God said, listen to me. I want you to go and tell the people, I know that Pharaoh won't let you go, but I'm going to show my mighty signs, and I'm going to harden his heart so that I can show all the people of Israel that I am the Lord. And don't worry, I'm going to rescue them. Tell the people of Israel, I will rescue them. I've seen the mean way the Egyptians are treating them. I've seen it all. Don't tell them not to worry. I'm going to send them to that beautiful land of Canaan, the land of milk and honey. So Moses and Aaron, they went back to the elders of the people and they said, God says he will rest. Go away, they said. Their work was so hard, they couldn't even listen to it. And then God said to Moses and Aaron, you need to go to Pharaoh again and tell him to let my people go. Said Moses, the people of Israel won't listen to me. How will Pharaoh listen to me? And God said, you have to tell Pharaoh, Israel is my firstborn son. If you don't let him go, I will kill your firstborn son. And I want you to, Pharaoh, God said to Moses and Aaron, you can show the signs that you did. So Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh again, and they said, God said to let my people go. And Aaron dropped his staff on the ground, and it became a snake again. Said Pharaoh, well, go call my magicians. So the magicians came, and he said, can you make your staff into snakes? And you know what, boys and girls, they could. They used the power from the devil. They could do it. But Aaron's snake went around and he sucked up all the other snakes to show that God's power was the most. Pharaoh's heart was hard. He said, no, I am not letting you go. And that's the end of the story.